Hello, and welcome to yet another edition of Monthly Pickups. It being March, these are the pickups that I got for February. Pretty decent haul. Couple games, really for every console, really. Some heavy hitters, some games I got at GameStop, others from a game store that's pretty local to me. So, here we are. Start off. One of my earliest pickups was Castlevania for the NES, which I already owned. This one has manual and the box, more importantly, which I didn't have. So, I now own all three Castlevanias for the NES complete in box, which is really great because Castlevania is one of my favorite franchises. I got Castlevania originally back in '97 from a gaming store up in Littleton, New Hampshire, so finally, after 20 years, I can say I've completed it. Continuing on, this is the game that came in today for NES. This is River City Ransom. Just a cartridge. Spent a little less than $30 on it, which is about the value for this cartridge. Pretty fun beat 'em up. Came out about 1989, 1990. Not bad. Next is 1943. Of course, essentially the shoot 'em up game that really focused on the Battle of Midway, World War II. Made by Capcom. Did pretty well in the arcades. And I already have 1942, so thankfully, I can scratch that one off the list. Continuing on, we have Famicom Wars. This is actually what the original name of Intelligent Systems Advance Wars was called back in 1988. It's an English translated cartridge, so this is not a legitimate US release. Pretty interesting just to see the series in its infancy. There's only like 9 units to choose from. Very interesting indeed. It's not Orange Star, which the US versions, of course, for the Game Boy Advance had it listed as. It's Red Star. And you fight against Blue Moon, which of course hasn't changed. Continuing on, it took about 2 months to finally get a decently priced one. This is Final Fight 3. Super Nintendo came out in '95. Back label's a little torn. Some damage towards the top. But, you know, for like $80, people are jacking the price on that easily to $95, $120, $130. I saw one go in a little better condition for $112 a week prior. I was like, no thank you. So, patience pays off. Even if these games are getting pricey. Another game I already own. Now I can say I have complete in box. This is Mario is Missing. First played this game at my dad's friend's. He was guy who worked on Wall Street. I still talk to him occasionally. His name is Ronnie. Not really that fun, but apparently GameStop likes to sell their games in store where I am for the price of a cartridge only as opposed to complete, so I save at least $15. So now I have 2 copies of the game, so I'll be parting one of them, but now I have the game complete. Getting onward, this is Sword of Vermilion. Got this for about $12 complete at a local game store. Some water damage towards the top. Very cool RPG type game, as you can see with the back cover. Not bad. People really forget about this one, I feel like. And I am pretty excited to add it to the collection. It does not include the guidebook, sadly, but this has those. It has the regular manual. Continuing on. This game was not in the list, but because I got it, I'm not sure I can even open it now. For the whopping price of like $10. These little cases do love to make it hard to open. You can probably sort of see it from there. This is Fire Emblem Corrupt Theocracy, and if you're looking at that label, you're probably asking, why is that upside down? It's true. The game itself was cool. It was a fan-made game. Plays great, but apparently the person that put the label on did upside down. And I can't open the case right now, but that's alright. Continuing on, we have Yoshi's Island for the Game Boy Advance. Super Mario Advance 3, meaning I just need Super Mario Advance 2, which is Super Mario World. I never understood Nintendo's logic in numbering those advanced games. Next, this is a GameStop purchase, just like the last one was. This is Final Fantasy, Dawn of Souls 1 and 2. Essentially, it's just the first 2 Final Fantasies remade for the Game Boy Advance. Continuing on, Game Boy Color game, which I got for $8. Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color. Did not get high reviews, but I do love the original N64 version, so might as well. This is a Goodwill purchase, and I believe it's been sitting there at least 6 months. I don't go in there often, but I do remember seeing it prior. Rebel Raiders, Operation Nighthawk. It's just a jet game. It's complete. Made by Kando, K-A-N-D-O. Didn't do too well. It's CD-ROM, one of the early PlayStation. Actually, it might be like a 2005 PlayStation release, PlayStation 2 release. So, speaking of PlayStation, here's one that I've wanted for a while. This is Star Ocean for the original PlayStation. This was complete. Managed to get it for less than $30. Pretty cool. This is the second story. I do have the English translated cartridge of the first one, being that the Super Famicom version never made it legitimately to the United States. So I now have the first three in the series. Next is a Dreamcast title, Arrow Wings. Got this for about $6 complete. Another jet fighting game for the Sega Dreamcast. Definitely an underrated system. Continuing on, we have Half-Life for the Sega Dreamcast. And I know what you're thinking. They must not have released this legitimately. Well, they didn't. But the game was so close to being released, it had a month left before it was going to be released, and Prima released a strategy guide for it. And then Valve backed out. I can tell you, this came in a slimline case, so I sort of doctored it. This is the label I got from. I did get this off eBay. And I printed, which you can sort of tell, the back, which looks, you know, obviously not official at all. The binding, of course, but looks pretty cool. It runs exactly like the PlayStation 2 version, though I will say control-wise, it is a lot more complex. There's not enough buttons on the Dreamcast controller, which you can change. And, you know, it's interesting, when you have a large explosion, you can actually hear the console work for a good 2 seconds. The screen freezes, and then the blast occurs. So aside from that, it runs really well. Looks really good. This is Half-Life USS Darkstar. I got this from the same seller on eBay. Again, this is how it came. Slimline case and a front art. Pretty cool. Used the Half-Life engine. I guess this is a Canadian project back in like 2008 or 6 or something like that. Dreamcast is easy to go and release games on that are not quite legitimate. So, continuing on, this is Breath of Fire 3. This one has been on the list for a while. Made by Capcom. It's also complete. I spent about $30 on it, or $25 actually. Pretty cool game. I now only need the fourth one to complete my Breath of Fire collection. I do have the fifth one. This here is Atlantis. Atari 2600. Got for a few bucks. It's interesting. I haven't gotten an Atari game in a while, so why not? Continuing on for $5. This is a used title I got at Family Dollar, of all places. Earth's Dawn, which is, I believe, a action RPG beat 'em up, side scroller, made by Rising Star Games. I guess they didn't make too many of them, and it's worth like 16 complete. But you know, it got pretty good reviews, so it might be one of those games that people look for in 15 years. But I don't plan on selling. Next is the physical release of Secret of Mana on the PS4. Got this the day. Like, I was at work, my boss let me leave so I can run down to the store, GameStop. Fortunately, they didn't have it, but they called my other GameStop about 3 miles down the road, and they have 3 in stock, so I had them hold one. Managed to get 2. The second one I went and gave, or rather sold at cost, of course. He reimbursed me. To a friend I work with, because he really enjoys the game. It is a remake. It is not just a port. More like PS1, PS2 graphics, but it's okay. Overall, I have not opened it. I've heard good things. Next is Mario Party 4, a GameCube title. I own Mario Party 1 through 4. Spent like $38 on that. The prices of Mario Party games have apparently went up $10 since last year, so going on those. Next, GameStop had their nice GameStop sale going on. And this game was one of the ones I got. This is Tales of Vesperia for the 360. It's complete. I think I spent 11 on it, or 10 on it. It's worth 11. It's an RPG by Bandai Namco. Next we have Wolfenstein, which I actually know existed until I saw it at GameStop recently. You shoot Nazis. Who doesn't like shooting Nazis? Made by ID and Raven. So, next we have Eternal Sonata. This is an RPG also by Bandai Namco, and for the record, is only worth about $6 complete, but it's actually quite good. So, pretty cool to finally add that one. I'm still looking for the Last Remnant, but Last but not least, actually, this is second to last. This is Raiden Fighters Aces. Taking a while to track this one down. I did get it with less than 30, which was my goal. Complete in box. The manual is a whole whopping like 6 pages. It's the disc. Great condition. Includes Raiden Fighters 1 and 2 and Raiden Fighters Jet. All arcade games. So it's awesome. Raiden's a very good franchise for those shoot 'em up fans. Lastly, I already own this game, but this is RBI 94 for the Sega Genesis. Has all the rosters for 94, or rather 93, and it includes all-star teams and, of course, World Series and playoff teams from 85 on up. I will tell you that this game is awesome. It's my favorite sports game. I had to get it complete again. I owned it complete as a kid because you can make your own teams, and that includes having a pitching roster. Anyone who knows baseball back in the 90s or late 80s of John Schmaltz, Maddox, Glavine, Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson, and then you can have just Cecil Fielder, Barry Bonds, Juan Gonzalez, King Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas, Don Mattingly, Wade Boggs, Kenny Lofton. You get my drift. You can rate your own team. Plus, it has wacky sounds and such. So it's a really cool, fun game. So, those are my pickups. And I'll catch you later.